Okay, I'll start. All right, assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you very much for coming again. Inshallah, today we're discussing the 13th word. Today's the third part. We will be on page 151, if you want to get ready with that. Otherwise, it's here on the screen. Let me do a short dua. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم صل وسلم على محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. All right, so to refresh our memory for the past two times, we've been really talking about what is the Quran, to remind us the verse that we're really trying to focus on throughout this word is at the beginning of the 13th word. It says, and we send down stage by stage in the Quran that which is a healing and a mercy to those who believe. Another verse, we have not instructed the Prophet in poetry, nor is it meet for him. And last time we stopped at this paragraph, and I think we're gonna revisit it again. We're gonna start reading from here again. Because I feel like today we can really focus on, well, if philosophy viewing the world one way, or things that are happening in one way, how is the Quran viewing the universe or human or whatever really is happening right now? So I'll go ahead and start. It says, it is because of this, because the all-wise Quran contains infinite, brilliant, elevated truth, that it is free of the fantasies of poetry. And I want to recall with you about our discussion on the fantasies of poetry last time. I appreciated it when it was brought up that, well, poetry is something, you know, that's just like a literary technique that that is trying to beautify or reveal things in a certain way using the techniques of poetry. But then here the author is kind of challenging us to say, no, this is not the Quran. If you're going to the Quran to find some poetry, then no, it is not a literary technique that's trying to beautify or sugarcoat or attempt at making things look a different way. Okay, well, what is then the Quran? Something in the chat box. Assalamu alaikum. I believe last week we said we would also discuss Qur'ans with Qur'ans. Yes, I will get the chat. Yes, thank you very much. So it says, another reason the Qur'an of miraculous exposition is not in verse, despite the perfection of its word order and orderedness, and its expounding with its well-ordered styles, the order and art of the book of the universe, is that by not entering under the restrictions of meter, each star of its verses can be a sort of center to the most of the other verses, and be a brother to them, and each can form a connecting line with the verses within the sphere encompassing it, in order to be a bond in the relationships which exists between them. It is as if each independent verse has an eye which looks to most of the other verses. So if we can use our imagination, the verse has an eye that looks to most of the other verses, and a face turned towards them. Okay, so it's as if he's saying, okay, it's a verse that has an eye that can look to the other verses. So it's like it can see the other verses. And it's also, it's as if that they're looking at each other. I feel like that's what it's saying. It's the verses are responding to each other and looking to each other. And there's where the sentence says, thousands of Qur'ans are present within the Qur'an, each of which it offers to followers of the different paths. As is described in the 25th word in Surah Al-Ikhlas, is a treasury of knowledge about divine unity, comprising 36 Surah Al-Ikhlas, formed of a compound of 6 phrases, each winged. Indeed, like with the stars in the sky, which are apparently without order, each is unrestricted and as a sort of center extends a line of connection to all the stars in the area surrounding it, indicating a hidden relation between beings. It is as if, like the stars of verses, each single star has an eye which looks to all stars and a face which is turned to them. See then the perfect order within the apparent lack of order and take a lesson. Understand one meaning of the verse. We have not instructed the Prophet in poetry, nor does it meet for him. I'll pause here. I think the paragraph is saying something that is worthy of us just stopping at it and trying to understand it. I see something in the chat, within and not with. Oh, that's okay, thank you. So thousands of Qur'ans are present within the Qur'an. What are your first thoughts about this? What do you think this means? Or if you can relate this sentence to the other analogies used in the paragraph, what would this really mean? I see something in the chat box. It says the meaning gets deeper and deeper. The meaning of the verses? Is that what you're referring to? Okay, go ahead, Brother Ali.
The question, or reminder actually, not the question that we promised last week, that we are going to study what does it mean to read the Quran within the Quran. It doesn't mean that we should just recycle our pre-acceptances about the Quran. It never means this. We have to be very careful not to misunderstand that, imitate, while we are trying to understand one meaning, get information from one, while we are, sorry, I'm messing up everything. While we are trying to understand the meaning of a verse, get from another verse as the evidence of what this verse says, or as an expansion of the information that we are learning from this verse, then it goes into as if we are going into more and more obtaining more and more information. No, the Quran needs to be read in order to confirm whether this message is really from my Creator responding to my human questions. That is the methodology we are trying to follow here in this class. We are not after information. We are not really trying to see the deeper meaning by doing a grammatic or rhetoric analysis. That is not the purpose here, although this attempt does not exclude the others that they are doing something useless. No, this is not our interest. The other information side, and also, for example, combining all verses related to the subject together and trying to understand the meaning of the verse we are studying with the help of the other verses. That is so interesting, but this is not our method that we are following here. What are we doing then here? Rather than trying to understand the Quran with our pre-accepted knowledge, whether outside of the Quran or whether within the Quran. This is it's a very, how do you say it? For me, interesting, but at the same time, it may be new for some of us. Why? This is very simple. Why we do this, or we should do this, especially nowadays, where the thousands of commentaries on the Quran are available, where a lot of information about the Quranic grammar, language, information, rulings, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of books have been written on them. But we are concentrating now, as far as our responsibility is concerned, how can I confirm each verse of the Quran as to be the speech of my Creator? It seems to be somehow impossible. This paragraph, because how can I do that? Read some verses which doesn't really mean much alone. This paragraph really points out and a very important, or emphasizes on the importance of this approach. What is this? We have to read the Quran as it claims to be, and then see whether its claim is confirmable or not. For me, how can I do that? There are other ways of getting references. This is one reference from the creation of the universe. That's one reference. Another reference from my own human qualities, because I am responsible for my own human qualities. So I have to use my human qualities as much as I can without confusing it with prejudices, any kind of prejudices, any kind of biased approach. Neither denying that the Quran is God's word, but Muhammad's writing, nor claiming that I have my own ideas, and let me see whether Quran fits to my ideas, own ideas, which means, for example, I have to live such a way I have to follow my life in such a way that I can really be satisfied within my own expectations rather than my reality. So I have to clean my mind, my feelings, and I have to approach the Quran with a totally free mind. It means without really constraining myself within a certain frame of thought, frame of understanding. Let me as I am. Let me be as I am and see the universe as it is out there. Then the Quran says, I am the speaker of the, I am the speaker who is the creator of the universe and your creator. I am now speaking to you. So I have to come to the Quran and say, are you really a speech of my creator? Are you really a speech of the creator of the universe? Let me see. So each verse must be put within this context now, according to the purpose of the Quran. What is the purpose of the Quran? The purpose of the Quran is to teach me what I cannot know. Wow. Teach me what I cannot know. But my human qualities really dying to get to know. That is what the contradiction is within me. I cannot know within by using my intellect only or the universe only, my feelings only. I cannot know. But at the same time, I have desires, feelings, seeking for perfect satisfaction. When I look at the universe says, my creation is perfect, but it is not enough to satisfy you. Then, please don't hurry. So don't hurry. Let me complete the picture, inshallah, and then we can talk about it. I cannot know it I cannot get the answer from the universe. Universe doesn't satisfy me by expectations. And also, my intellectual capacity asks the question, but when it comes to our need for eternal happiness, guaranteeing my existence, intellect looks at the universe and cannot get guarantee from the universe because universe is continuously changing itself. It is totally dependent on the will of something else. It cannot act on its own freely. It cannot choose freely, but has to follow certain, if you like, plan or order within which it was created. Like the machine, for example, I am using this laptop now. I know the laptop works only within the capacity of the programs that uploaded on it or loaded on it. It cannot go beyond the capacity of the program. The universe also cannot go beyond the capacity of the program. And this program says you are transient, you are dependent, you cannot choose anything what you want, but obey the way I programmed you, if you like. whoever does this. We call it the one who gave existence to the universe is called God. So it put the order of the universe according to his own will. Now, there is no hope from the universe. There is no hope from myself that my feelings can be satisfied by doing something. Quran says that is what I am for. That's why Quran teaches us ghaib. What does it mean? Human beings cannot comprehend within their own intellectual capacity. Ghaib means because intellect works by getting the information from the way the universe is created. Intellect sees that the universe is witnessing to the creator's or somebody else's qualities, which must be absolute, infinite, but there is no infinite within me. The contradiction that we are receiving from the universe. But my creator must be an absolute being, but intellect cannot see it within the universe. This absolute being who gave existence to the universe. This is so simple that intellect can understand. I cannot see the artist and comprehend the capacity of the ability for artistry by looking at the piece of art he presented to me. This is only a piece of art which is presented to me by the artist. It shows that this artist has wonderful quality of art, and it has different pieces here and there, but still by looking at the pieces of art, I admire his capacity, but I cannot see him there. I cannot find the artist within the art. It is a completely different being, or this being must have a completely different level of existence. Now, thinking of this purpose of the Quran, we should read each verse according to the purpose of the Quran and see whether it is consistent. That is number one. And what I learned from the Quran is really an answer to my expectations that I cannot obtain within this type of creation, neither from myself, my capacity, nor from the universe. Accordingly, I should look at each part of the Quran and try to understand it and apply it to my own expectations, whether it fits them or not. Now the example, looking at the eye to each other and taking notes of the others and being in connection with the others, or the verses. Yes, the verses are interconnected, as you highlighted it. Thousands of Qurans are present within the Quran. Verses are interconnected. Each verse, let me give a very simple example. Look at a house, the simple house. When you look at the house in its entirety, you see that it is a well-arranged building. It means an architect has designed it and made it, with the help of this human being, with the help of the workers or a building company. Then they employ the workers, but this architect built the house, let's assume shortcut thinking, built the house in a way that it works perfectly. What does it mean? When I look at the window says to me, reveals to me, I am made and put here according to the location and the position of the house. For example, a window is located in such a way that fits the purpose of the house. Doors are also in the same position. It tells that each door tells me and lets me know that I am put here by the one who planned the house, not anybody else or anything else. The size of the door, etc., all fits the purpose of the house. Does it make sense? Everything informs that we are the productions of the architect of this building. Exactly while we are reading the Quran, we should never, ever interpret or try to understand the verses of the Quran outside of the purpose of the entire Quran, which means giving me the news, guiding me to what I cannot know. What I cannot know. So that I need to know. I feel the need within myself, but I cannot know. And see whether it is appropriate to my human expectations, answering my human questions. Not that, for example, I should eat what I should eat in order to have a healthy body. No, I can learn it. Through experiences, I can ask an expert on nutrition. He or she can give me guidance. And I don't expect my creator to tell me what to eat for the best healthy body. Why? The creation has the information for it already in its existence, in its order. The way it is created teaches you how to make the farming in the best place or in the best form. So there is no need to explain anymore, but we need explanations, guidance to our questions that we cannot obtain within this created world. So when we read the Quran in this way, we are reading the Quran within the Quran. For example, like go back to my building example. When I examine the window of the building, window says, I am planned and put here by the architect of the whole house. The door also says, I am planned and put here by the architect of the whole house. Both of them witness the truthfulness of each other. Could I present it so that you can connect each verse, looking at each other, confirming each other, but we should never, ever expect anything from the Quran that can be obtained within the existence of the universe through our intellectual activity, investigations. For example, when the Quran says, we sent down rain from clouds. We squeezed the clouds and we pour down rain for you so that you can have beautiful gardens and provisions to eat. I say, that's an example. I say, excuse me, I don't need this information from my creator because it is already created in the universe that I can obtain it. I can study meteorology and learn how it is, how the rain is coming. Why the Quran mentions them? Oh, the purpose of the Quran was what? Remember now. The purpose of the Quran was to teach me what I cannot know within the universe and myself by observing, investigating, whatever the way I do within the universe. I cannot get my answers. Why am I created? Where am I going? Who is playing on me, giving me beautiful things and then taking them away, making me suffer from the missing of these beautiful things? Is he torturing me? Who is this? If someone says it is natural, but also I cannot get the answer from nature. Why is it doing this to me? Because I am given the intelligence, consciousness to ask this question. Why am I created in this position? Who is really administering and manipulating my life? I cannot stop from aging. I cannot stop from dying, losing. I cannot guarantee anything. I cannot know what will happen tomorrow at all. Why am I put in this position that I am squeezed between past and future? Past is gone, future has not come yet, and I am in between, continuously subject to change, controlled by something else. It is not within me. It is not by the universe, because universe is in the same position, controlled, administered by something else. They cannot go out of the way they are given existence. What is this? This is we have to think about it, and we will feel that we are imprisoned in the present time, which is not stable either. How can I find security in my existence? Quran says, hey, I've created many examples. Look at one of the examples I gave you, that it is God, the creator, your owner, by sending the rain that you are seeing from the clouds that you are experiencing. Yeah, without clouds, is there any rain? No. Now, this is my action, introducing myself to you. It cannot happen by itself. I am there, presenting myself to you. And now I am telling you that you have to study this creation of mine and come to the conclusion that the one who created the rain or creates the rain is my creator. That is what this book says. And his mercy is absolute, limitless. Why? The same action is taking place at the same time in innumerable ways with mercy, and the same mercy is manifesting in innumerable ways, different forms, at the same time with no confusion. Quran says, I am an absolute being which cannot be comprehended within the capacity of the universe, but by studying the universe, you can understand that it is me. And the Quran comes with the news that I am always with you. I am promising you that I am the one who created your desire for eternal happiness, and only I can satisfy it. The universe cannot. You cannot guarantee anything. So you are totally dependent on my will. Come to me, acknowledge me, and present your needs to me, not to the universe, not to you, your egocentric intellect. So try to understand, because I am demonstrating to you what you are really, what I am really, what God is really, so you can understand and rely on me. Now it is a new news for me. It is something new. When I learned that everything witnesses his reality, his truthfulness, I have to come and see the universe, the Quran, and see the Quran. Every verse is pointing to the same result and supporting each other, making sure or giving me the opportunity to be sure in my conclusion that I am the product of an absolute being, not of the universe. So I have to identify my existence according to the capacity of my creator, which means I belong, my existence belongs to the owner of the creator of the universe, who is an absolute being. So he comes and also helps me how to arrange my worldly life. That's why when I read the words, for example, pray, give zakat, etc., be respectful to the prophetic message, take the example of the prophet's life for your own guidance of life, etc. All these are in the Quran. I understand that, yes, I have to have a pattern of life that I have to follow. This pattern of life can be learned from my creator, who educated a person for me to follow. So see the connection now and read the Quran accordingly. Not according to my information or expectations acquired from a mostly secularist way. How about my religious information that I learned from traditions? I have to be very careful, because culture, customs of any society may be spoiled by secular concerns. We have to be very careful not to imitate the culture, not to imitate the tradition, but try to get the necessary guidance from the Quran only, so that the Quran says, take the exemplary life of the prophet for yourself, try to follow his life pattern. So what I have to do now, I have to build up my understanding of existence through the Quran, from the Quran, and see whether it is appropriate to my human qualities and what I am observing in the creation. And then for my personal and social life interactions, behaviors, characters, or The way that I have to treat with the universe, with my connection with the universe, must be learned from the practical life of the Prophet. That's why among the students of the Quran, this phrase is extremely important and accepted by all of them. They say we have to follow the Quran and Sunnah, which means the way the Prophet presented the Quran and apply it in his personal life. Sunnah, we have to be very careful. The Sunnah has nothing to do with culture. Sunnah is the way the Prophet acted without being spoiled or affected by secular concerns. That is why while we are reading the Hadith narrations, we have to be very careful. Hadith is different from Sunnah. This is not our subject. Now, our subject is Quran shows me what to do, and I have to see whether it is appropriate to my feelings and accordingly confirm it or reject it. That's what we are learning here, that we have to be very heavily involved in understanding the Quran and never forget about the purpose of the Quran and read it according to the purpose of the Quran. While I am reading a commentary on the Quran, for example, I have to be very careful not to get into historical information and get lost there. I'm not after information. I am after guidance to satisfy my expectations. And I have to be able to confirm this news I learned from the Quran. Okay, I think it's a long, boring talk, but I hope I could express something, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciated it. Thank you. Does anybody else want to comment on their understanding of this phrase? I see a question in the chat box that says, do you mean we should seek and experience the Quran as fitting perfectly within our existence, like similar to the analogy of the window? And then this witnessing convinces us that the Quran must be from my creator? I'm gonna have to repeat the question, sorry. Do you mean we should seek and experience the Quran as fitting perfectly within our existence? And then this witnessing convinces us that this Quran must be from my creator. I think the answer would be yes.
Answer both at the same time.
But yes, in parallel, exactly, yes.
Another comment above.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, the other comment says, it seems one way that I can confirm Qur'ans within Qur'an instead of repeating information is that what I've learned from the Qur'an to go and consider my existence and everything in it has truly enlightened me to meaning within my existence. It has taught me to witness great knowledge, intention, and beautiful in creation, and suggests to me that there is a wonderful creator. As I continue to use this methodology of using the Quran as the lamp for my existence, I keep on finding meaning within myself and in the outside world. This is what I've experienced so far and what I can confirm that one can experience with the Quran. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Okay. Let's continue reading. So we stopped right here. I'll just reread the verse again because the paragraph is a reflection on the verse. We have not instructed the prophet in poetry, nor does it meet for him. Understand also from it that the mark of poetry is to adorn insignificant and dull facts with big and shining images and fantasies and make them attractive. Whereas the truths of the Quran are so great, elevated, shining, and brilliant. That even the greatest and most brilliant imaginings are dull and insignificant in comparison with them. So we kind of touched upon this earlier that, okay, there is a difference between writing something in a poetic way to make it look attractive, despite the fact that it is insignificant or dull, where the Quran is not trying to do that. It's actually saying or claiming to be saying the truth as it is. Innumerable truths like the following verses testify to this. For example, the day that we roll up the heavens like a scroll, rolled up for books completed. He draws the night as a veil over the day, each seeking the other in rapid succession. It will be no more than a single blast when, lo, they will all be brought up before us. I think when I read these verses the first time, I was wondering, is now the author trying to suggest, okay, when the verse of the Quran is saying he draws the night as a veil over the day. Now, nobody can really draw the night as a veil over day. I mean, I can poetically say, I can poetically say it, but I can never demonstrate it or I can never show it. But I felt like, okay, maybe the author is suggesting when I read the verse, I actually contemplate on the idea that the author of this verse is actually doing something that is very easy. Like it seems if the author is saying, and I draw the night as a veil over the day, the author is kind of revealing a quality that's saying, okay, it's very easy for me to change day and night, and I even draw it as a veil. It's so simple. It's not something, and I can even show it to you over and over again. And you have, all the time, you have the time to observe it. Any reflections here about these verses? How are these verses? Why do you think the author is suggesting that we shouldn't read these verses poetically? Oh, go ahead, Brother Adi. It's your hand. Go ahead.
No, we shouldn't read these verses or any verses poetically. So we shouldn't pay attention to the poetic beauty of it, beautifying the recitation of the Quran with voices and make it and turn it into a musical demonstration, something like that. So the people may like it. That is their choice and it's their liking. Leave them, let them do whatever they want, but we must pay attention to another aspect of it. What is happening in the world always? Either I need to be created and search for my creator, or I accept, I claim that I am self-sufficient within myself. Universe is self-sufficient within myself. For example, the night and day are covering each other with whatever they're in such a way that is just happening by itself. Naturally, how the universe works. On the other hand, Quran comes and says, no, it cannot. And the reader, the Quran draws the attention of the reader, saying that be careful, the day and night, or earth and the sun relationship, the solar system cannot be product of the things themselves. Think about it. So it gives me an option, because my intellect cannot go outside of the universe. The more if I didn't listen to this news from the Quran or from Revelation in general, what I would do, I would admire nature, as those scientists do nowadays. They admire nature. They worship nature, saying that we are thankful to Mother Nature. It provided us this, produced this, evolved in this way in order to satisfy us. That is the main, if you like, war, intellectual war going on in the world ever the human beings are present here. From the very beginning, Iblis and angels fought together. Exactly the same event is happening. Iblis said the body, the Adam is the body. The body is lower than my body. Comparison is matter. Angels accepted to serve human beings because of their capacity to get to know beyond the capacity of the universe. It means acknowledging the Creator through the manifestation of his names, qualities in the spirit of human beings. So the quarrel between Iblis and angels are going on between body and spirit within myself, my emotional expectations, feelings, and also between materialistic worldview and what the Quran says. Materialistic worldview admires the system of the universe, how it developed by itself, evolved in this way, perfectly, coming out of one atom, full of energy, endless energy. Where did they get? No answer. That is how it is. That is the answer. Quran says, no, it has an intelligent designer, creator, executor, administrator of the universe, put this universe into this form according to his own choice. None of the things, the air, the wind, the way the air is exchanging between hot and cold atmosphere pressures, etc. This is how the wind is created by me. He, Quran says, he draws the night. Now, there is no need to really go and study a lot what is happening, how the day is really being a veil over the night being a veil over the day, and seeking the other in rapid succession. Study it, measure it. Whatever you do, do it. It doesn't say don't do it, but Don't condition yourself that these things are happening by themselves. That is impossible. So the other verse is interesting to put here. The last verse, it will no more than a single blast when, hey, look at this. Law means this. Hey, be careful. They will all be brought up before the owner of the universe, us, the administrator, the creator of the universe. Why? More than a single, what does it mean? It means I, as the creator of the universe, demonstrated that my qualities are infinite. I can create this huge universe with a perfect order under my control of my will, and each part of the universe, including the galaxies, including the stars, even go back to the planets, go back to the particles, atoms, particles, animate beings and plants and not inanimate beings. Every single part of your body cell is under the control of this creator, the creator of the whole universe. Cannot be something else. Go and investigate if you can find any source of existence within the universe. Don't speak nonsense. Don't follow nonsense ideas. That is what the Quran says. I am the one who can just do whatever I will with no effort at all. Don't you see my production? Don't you see my work here? This is the witness to my reality. I am just drawing your attention that study all these things going on in the universe and don't condition yourself. You are inevitably expected to come to the conclusion that the source of existence of all this universe, it must be an absolute being. Here I am, your Lord. You can present all your expectations to me and expect from me to fulfill them as the creator of these feelings. I am the one who created these feelings. You cannot find these feelings in the universe, and there is no source that can provide you with these feelings. That is what the Quran is opening up our heart, our mind to understand this reality and live in this world with a full, hopeful expectation that I trust my owner, I trust my Lord. He can satisfy me. He is the one who created my feelings. Anyway, I realize now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I see one comment in the chat box says that they investigate with the hope of finding it within the universe. Thank you very much. I think we can stop here today, and inshallah we can start next week with this paragraph. Any last comments? Any last questions? Okay, thank you all very much. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you everyone. Assalamu alaikum.